Hello and welcome. This is Diana and you are watching Holistic Vibes. This is like take 3. This keeps shutting down. This is going to be for the sign of Leo, and this is my take on a love reading, yeah? So take what resonates, leave the rest. As always, for those of you that don't know, I am an alchemist of energy. And we just kind of go on a ride, and hopefully at the end of it, you feel lighter, you feel brighter, and you have a little bit more insight than you did when we started. So I'm going to throw some cards, and we'll see what comes out. It's interesting. It's like they kind of changed my format of sorts. So bear with me as I pull some cards. Just kind of think about like your process. That's a lot of cards. I don't want that many. That's like just sloppiness. Okay, I'll take it. Okay. Has Leo just had a windfall? I mean, who knows? Maybe it's going to end up being like a whole slew. So we'll see. Whatever's happening in your mid-back, just identify it, see what it's connected to, and let's go ahead and release it. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and release all the way. Take a deep breath in. Fully focusing on your breath and wherever you're having that back pain. And just push it out. Focusing on your chest. And allow it to shift and transition. Going with the flow. Ode to the journey. Aquamarine and sleep. Somebody have a dream? Somebody woke up with the desire for service. The desire of service. A wailing tree, I believe that is in... The wailing tree is from the Bible. What are the odds that 50 and 60 come out together, huh? 18. For me, the eagle and the snake always go together. They're always one and the same for me. And there's a new beginning on the board, right? So, and then Kali and Mother Mary. And you got a blend there. And then Isis and Kuan Yin. Thank you. Is that it? Okay, thank you. Okay. And then... Okay, so here we go, yeah? And anything... Yeah, of course. Anything else? Or is that it? That's it? That's it. Okay, thank you. All right. So as we unfold, they just said like that. It says the heart is the true seat of the power. So just love everyone involved and all will unfold gracefully. In its own time, an angel watches over you. With patience, love, perseverance, all will work out fine. Be guiding by the wisdom of in your own heart. So abundance, ripeness, nothingness, fighting the mind, adventure, the soul, the source. Somebody through the creation of their own abundance has found duality. Underneath the stars, kind of like that whole being in flow, right? Watching the fruit ripen on the tree, looking at the butterfly that sits on the tree. It's taking in the nature and understanding that you are the nature, right? You are the balance, and you're no longer sitting in that like everything has to be a fight, everything's going to be a battle. It's stepping back away from the mind and realizing that the thought forms that you've been having on repeat have been essentially keeping you from the divine adventure that's been at the break of like your possibilities, right? And so like as you move closer to source, as you understand that like, it's like understanding the seat of the soul of the Christ consciousness, right? It's not about Christ. It's about being Christ-like. They just said to grab one of these. And so like as you're moving towards that vibration of like being continuously in the vibration of love, you're essentially setting yourself up for like the most expansive environment that you've ever had, right? It's like no longer feeding into like the shit people say or the way people react or the way they respond. It's like you are unapologetically you. And you are in your heart center, and as you find that strength and as you are steadfast in the understanding, like, I'm not going to dim my light, I'm not going to dim my kookiness, you know what, I'm fucking nuts, it is what it is, right? I see shit, I do what I do, and it is what it is, right? As you come into your mediumship gifts, as you can start adjusting your tuner, like you will, start just pulling stuff out of thin air. Why? Because the energy is like ripe for it. It's all part of the process. And so like people can only understand and realize what they can at where they're at in their evolutionary scale. And if you jump past what they are doing, then it's like, I love you, but I'm going to be over here, right? Like you're no longer like feeding into the low vibe conversation, right? So 155 is going to be a number you're going to see consecutively, or 55, right? Reserving the right to say, you know what? That's just not for me. Like we can be cool, but like that's just not my jam. And it's being of service, but also knowing your own boundaries of like what you're willing to accept and where it is you're going in this lifetime, in this pathway, right? And so as you get into a state of play, as you get into a state of like flow of self, you are essentially like in this rebirthing phase, in this cocoon phase. You are coming back into yourself, and understanding that you hold negative and positive traits within yourself, right? You can very easily go into the mind battlefield of like the ego, or you can step into the vibration of the master, right? And like you're now separating or understanding like what is the trigger and what's the release, and like where are you in that developmental phase of like overcoming the trigger points. So the wailing tree is a reconciliation. Watchers is transpersonal. The eye of the eagle is rising above the fray. The snake is shedding the old skin, and the moon maiden is the new beginning. And I'm gonna run through them because 50 and 60 are like right next. 59 and 60 are right next to each other, right? And it says grief and mourning, a time of necessary loss and reconciliations, right? So did you lose something in your current reality? So maybe somebody is in a state of rest and actually saying goodbye to the things that are no longer serving them. Looking at where you've overdone the way that you've been operating, right? And really, truly, like, taking the internal guidance to allow yourself to feel like where there is loss, where there is disappointment, where there is the lack, where you fell short to, like, what it was that you were desiring, what you were desiring to be in. So getting into a place of neutrality, right? And then serendipity, observing, witnessing, transpersonal. So like as a watcher, you know, and you are shifting your own frequency, you kind of step back into different points and times in your own evolutionary cycle where you should have just only observed, but you instead decided to take action in the process. I don't know. But now looking at like the evening sky, taking everything in, understanding the who, what, when, where, why, allowing yourself to break free from like that singularity of the vibrational plane, right? Understanding we are quantum. And so as you're looking at like the different soul aspects of the lives that you've lived, and you're essentially realizing they all simultaneously are happening congruently, right? And so as you're looking at the realities of like what's coming up or what your relationship is to the person, your higher self is actually gaining or giving you the insight of like what are those problems that need to be solved, right? What was the cause of that initial XYZ, right? And so it's like by you looking from the highest point of perspective, because the eagle has the highest point on the planet, right? Prior to getting into a plane. And as you're like looking at everything with like a fine-tooth comb with a particular insight, you're then understanding like what your true north is. You're understanding like what your divine path looks like, and you're stepping more and more into your power, right? Because with power comes peace. Because you're no longer like angered at the things that are unfolding the way they're unfolding, right? You're just kind of like allowing the universe to show you what no longer is in residence or no longer in residence with you. And so that's kind of like this unpeeling of the process. And it's opening to like new ideas, new beginnings, a curiosity, right? Understanding like that you are fully protected, but that you are birthing a brand new cycle, that you are truly pushing the light however you desire to push the light, right? Kahada. This predestined series of events is due to occur according to the divine timing. This has been orchestrated at the highest level to integrate the paths of the people with whom you have a soul's contract in this lifetime. Trust the doors that close. I think I just said that. And just as much as in the doors that open for your results, right? Because the thing is like, in all honesty, like, fixed signs can beat a dead horse, right? They can go over it and go over it. That's confirmation. And go over it and say, you know, what is going on? How is it happening? What do I need to do? And really play with that process. And in truth, it's like, whoa, where are you looking for a balancing in the scale where there is no need, right? Where everything falls into the place that it's supposed to. Our Lady, growth assured. To manifest the dreams of your desires of your heart, we need patience and the trust in the divine timing. Again, this is a completely different deck. It says, understand that if our creation is birthed too soon or too late, there may be otherwise unnecessary difficulties. There is a natural timing to the soul's manifestations that we can trust, even if we can only grasp it. Goodness, grace, genius in retrospect. Know that Mother Mary is safeguarding your progress. Kali, Kalamasa, Nasini. It is time to free yourself from what has been. Learn from it, but do not allow it to define you or direct the course of your life. Give up your stories about the past. You have outgrown them. Kali consumes mistakes, sins, and negativities. Let her free you now so that you can open to the gift of your life unfolding. It's like new. It says play to create. Do you dream of more happiness, well-being, love? That is highest frequency dream. High frequency dreams come from a reality when we align ourselves with matched frequencies. There is always a way to raise your frequency, become more magnetic to the opportunities, to the right people, the solutions, helpful guidance to bring your dreams to life. For now, let go of the struggle and embrace the way to play. The Serpent of Fire. Do not assist your current abilities based on your past standards. I think I said that at the beginning, right? As they no longer apply to you. You are stronger and more powerful than you have been before. You need to learn afresh what you are capable of, and Isis will help you now. Amaryllis Lute. You are growing fast, leaving fear behind. When you vibrate, changes, so does your life. It is safe and loving for you to release that which no longer feels right for you, no matter how important it was in your old life. It might not have the same place in your new life. Accept the healing change now. And that's the Kuan Yin deck. And there's a lot of these here. I'll just lay them like in the in-between. It says 2. It says time and intentions. There are situations and fears affecting our ability to attract love and abundance. The universe is helping us to make a conscious make them conscious so that we can easily attract what we want, including each other. I long to sweep you off your feet and shower you with my love. Mirrors, this situation is being caused by both of us. Look at your role in the situation and help us change. The next solstice or equinox will bring an important shift for us. Draw another card and get an idea of that shift. So I'll draw on that. It says, you are my true love, my heart, my soul. And that's causing something with the throat chakra. So just identify it and allow that energy to clear, right? These? Or these? These. Okay, shift. Give me 3 cards, please. I think that's your card. There's movement. High Priestess, Judgment on the bottom. Yeah, with the Empress on the bottom. And there's forward movement after like releasing some kind of toxicity, some kind of old way of being. It releases and it opens up some kind of a gate, a portal. Yeah, there's some kind of a shift in the current reality scape. I don't know. It's interesting. They're just kind of showing me like the fabric of reality is kind of splitting to give you the timeline that you actually desire in the way that you see it. And somebody is going to be very upset at the fact, I just want one of these. I don't want a book. I really don't want a book. Can we just get 1, maybe 2, please? Thank you. Yeah, it's really important to understand, like, do these thoughts belong to me or do they belong to outside of me? Because it's really gonna shift. No, yeah, okay. The where you're at. So Emerald Tablet activation. This is essentially for those that were like scribes, or the protection of the scribes, like the protection of the information. And these gatekeepers are essentially like starting to wake up on the planet, right? Seeing the path very clearly, understanding like the turning, what's it called? It's like the windiness of the road, the windiness that the path wasn't just straight. It was a journey. The alchemist's journey back home, right? To the very starting point again. Understanding that everything is in divine order, it's divine alchemy, it's transmutation. The staff of Raphael, the downloading codes, right? The understanding like quite clearly of like, yeah, through the dreamscape. Somebody's really good at being able to like pause their dreams and then like shift them to like their own reality, right? Of like what they want, how they want it to unfold, what needs to happen, how the higher self needs to show them. And then they're actually able to remember it when they wake up. It's pretty fascinating. It's super, super cool. Is there anything else? It just said too, like, because like I was picking my nail, and so you may find yourself like picking your nail in through like the down times, the lull times. And if that happens, like, understand, like, that's a nervous da-da-da, whatever, and then send it back to wherever it needs to go to, right? You're in the process of evolution right now. And you're understanding and seeing clearly what your obstacles are and how to actually overcome those obstacles. And through your empathy, like, you're starting to, it's not feel bad for people when they make stupid decisions, right? But it's like sad for the fact that that's what they choose to co-create while they're on this planet, right? And it's not to say, I always say this, you're not going to be kind to everybody all the time, right? You're going to have your moments where you are going to get triggered, where like their demons will ruffle your feathers. and vice versa, right? And you have to always pick the higher timeline, but like identify and bring that forward of like where you fell short, right? Or where you were triggered or whatever it looks like for you. But it's always like, it goes back to that whole, like, your traits. It's looking at like where your negative traits are still living in your emotions and whether or not those negative traits are accompanied by an entity attachment, right? And so like, as you come into the understanding of like, oh, this is mine, this isn't mine, oh, I see this, and you're able to maneuver within your creative space, and you're able to work with your guides very clearly, it opens up a particular, it's a vibration. Your vibration is going to amplify and it's going to shift out into the collective differently when you do that internal work. It's like the wisdom of your heart becomes unlocked, right? And it's through whatever this is, in that union. As you get into the seat of the soul, you'll gain access to all the stuff you haven't been able to see, right? Because it's just a glimmer, what you see when you're solo versus like what you see with a counterpart. I'm going to leave that there, right? Hopefully something in this resonated with you. I can't believe the time. It really feels like I was in a pocket. As you know, like, helping the algorithm helps grow the channel. When I hit 1,000 subscribers, I can start going live, and then we can start doing some real work, right? And I can answer questions live. So we'll go from there. Until next time, if you would like a reading, everything is below, and sessions are open. Thanks so much, and I will talk to you later. Ciao.